how can governing bodies use their budgets to get the best value for their schools? In 2002, the governors at Southdown Infant School near Bath decided to opt out of their LEA-provided catering services. The decision transformed Southdown's school dinners. Today, more children than ever are enjoying a balanced diet at lunchtime. Teachers report that behaviour in the afternoon has improved, and the school has managed to turn their kitchens into a revenue-generating business. Their success was recognised in 2004 when they won a National School Dinners Award. Lots of hard work and planning by the governors and staff has paid off handsomely. This is their story. Jill Cully, head teacher at the time, remembers what drove the governors to opting out in the first place.
We decided to try to get a better quality of food for our children, basically, and probably the meat was the thing we were looking at most. The meat did make you feel quite physically ill, in that it was reprocessed, grey, you wouldn't know what it was. The Vice Chair of Governors was very, very interested in the nutrition of children and in best value, I suppose, really, and soon realised that we could probably give the children something better, which they deserved.
Vice Chair John Bailey is one of the longest-serving governors at the school and takes a particular interest in what goes on in the kitchens.
The head teacher of the day was absolutely convinced that this was the way forward. Her enthusiasm was so obvious that it infused the governing body, and governing bodies are not easy to infuse at times.
Until 1990, school services like catering, maintenance and personnel were provided by the local education authority. The authority chose the contractors and charged the schools accordingly. However, over the last 15 years, governing bodies have been handed more and more financial independence. Now, schools, led by head teacher or governing body initiatives, can elect to opt out of certain areas of provision if they believe they can get better value elsewhere.
When the governing body here considered opting from the general contract provided by the LEA, we were looking, I think, to improve our delivery of meals to the children. We felt that this would give us far more freedom, particularly with the purchase of the ingredients for meals. We wouldn't be constrained by set menus, wouldn't be constrained by suppliers over whom we had no control.
We get a lot more choices, I think, than authority-run kitchens. We get to choose meats, the menus, absolutely everything, which is lovely.
Okay, what are you having today then? Yes, young man. All right. What are you having, my love?
In keeping with their healthy eating plan and constant search for good value, the Southdown Tuck Shop sells no chocolate, no fizzy drinks, just healthy snacks at 10p a portion.
When we first started the tuck shop, that was quite some time ago now, we just put a variety on the counter and just decided which ones they preferred. Melon's always been popular, and raisins, as you can see. But we keep the prices down because obviously it's tuck money, you know, it's something that's supposed to be cheap. And if we bought in boxes of ready-made raisins, it was just too expensive for the children. So we bag our own.
If the governing body undertake their own catering, there are elements of risk. The first obvious one is a financial risk, because catering could produce a deficit, and that has to be considered.
It couldn't be done without governors having an input in setting all this up, in doing the business plan, in visiting those people working in the kitchen once a week, in constantly reviewing what was going on.
Opting out means the governing body has to take full legal responsibility for running a service. With the head teacher, it has to ensure health and safety regulations are in place. It's responsible for maintaining equipment and recruiting and employing staff.
We were lucky to acquire two sisters. We're fairly unusual here that we have joint cooks in charge. And this is the proposal they put to us. And we interviewed them and carefully considered and decided this was a good way forward because they would support each other. And your training you're undertaking at the moment, do you find it interesting?
It's extremely interesting. We're dealing with all the food aspects: fish, meats, vegetables, the nutritional value, the fact that you don't actually need to have masses and masses of salt or herbs and things to actually add flavour, that you should make a meal where the food itself makes the flavour.
We had to make provision for their training because it's essential that catering staff are trained. We managed to obtain that from our training budget. It's perfectly proper to train catering staff from a training budget.
The current chair of governors is Simon Pearson. The success of the initiative lies in his hands. His 8-year-old son Alex goes to the school.
The important aspects of what we're actually doing here at the moment with this scheme is not just to give the children healthy food, but it also goes back into the classroom. It teaches them about healthy living, you know, and it's starting at a very, very early stage like we are at the moment. This is giving them, we believe, a tremendously good start to the future.
I came into this school in January and my brief was to keep the school going as it has been set up. My first glimpse of the school were the children eating raw carrots and melons in the playground, and that was just a real boost. So there's a beginning of understanding at a very young age of what healthy eating means.
Tom? Onions.
You think that's onions?
No.
Not quite onions. Do you know the fact that the children in break time are eating something that is nutritious and filling, and at dinner time, teachers tell me they are much calmer. Their concentration levels are better.
When you see the children come in and you know you're responsible just as much as the parents are for their health. Sugars, salts, just limit it. Don't cut everything out. You know, all children have got the right to have something that they like, something that's naughty. So we let them have this in small amounts now and again. They don't miss out. If you stop altogether, the children will miss it and they'll want it more.
Once we decided to have this whole little business going, other schools turned to us and said, it sounds really impressive, and can we become part of it? And 3 other schools opted out at the same time as we did. So our business then extended to providing sandwiches for these 3 schools.
What they have actually is 1 slice of white, 1 slice of wholemeal, because obviously some kids didn't like all wholemeal. So we thought half and half, so they got a little bit of healthy there as well. So
we've got the advantage that we're allowed to make a profit in the actual kitchen, and that's how we actually subsidise being able to give the children such good quality food.
Financially, I wouldn't say at this precise moment we are megally rich or rolling in money. It's now at an even stage. I believe I'm right in saying that. And you know, hopefully now we can start to go forward and it can actually start to make us a little bit of money. At the precise moment we had various things to buy and to purchase in the beginning, so once we got that equipment bought, now that is almost paid up for, and this is a very, very important year for us.
The school cooks in a traditional kind of kitchen are very much limited by their budget because they can only spend 33 pence per child, and we spend 75 pence per child in this school. They're so limited that the food is not as satisfactory as it is here.
The cost of school dinners is £7.50 a week, but not all parents agree that it's good value for money.
I think it does put a few parents off of just paying that little bit extra, but I mean, in our view, from what we see with the children here, it does make a big difference to the children. It benefits them in all ways. since we started it, there has been a big difference in the children in the afternoon. They're a lot more alert to learning, and that really is one of the biggest things. It's a big benefit for them.
I'm going to be late this morning.
Alex, the chair of Governor's son, is just one of the children who's really benefited from the school's new eating habits.
Alex is 8 years old. He's actually doing an extra year because he has Down syndrome. This school genuinely wanted Alex, which is not always the case with schools. They will always say they'll have children with needs, but deep down you've got to sort of feel, you've got to believe them.
In you go. See you later. Okay? Be a good boy. In you go.
When he was a little younger, he didn't really like eating at all. He was very, very finicky, very, very picky. When we first started off, Alex used to come in and have packed lunches, and if you actually saw the size of his packed lunch, it was tiny.
One little boy gave him his roast potato once, and I said to Alex, would you like roast potatoes? And he said, oh yes. So we got him some. So then I mentioned this to his teacher, who told his mum, and then he went on to cook dinners 1 day a week, progressed to 2, progressed to 3. Now 5 days a week he has cooked dinners.
Because of the healthy food they actually feed him, he's really, really taken to eating tremendously good meals. And now his appetite is absolutely ferocious. I do believe that via the school, with the health plan and everything else, and with Alex, I actually believe it, contrary to my shape, I'm actually eating far more healthier myself. So it's not just worked with Alex, but it's affected the whole family.
An unexpected bonus came in 2004. They won a national award from the Soil Association for Best School Dinner.
It was a really strict competition, and we were really very pleased to have won it. And that gave everyone a tremendous boost, actually.
Really chuffed, really proud. You know, it sort of sums up everything we've been trying to do the last couple of years, and we were really proud.
In retrospect, I believe we were courageous in undertaking our own school meal service. Many people now are talking about this, but I believe when we started, we went into an unknown area. But I would argue that all our risk has been vindicated by our success.
I mean, you get the response from the children. That makes your day. You see an empty plate and it's worth all the hard work. Whereas before, the plates weren't empty, the food wasn't very nice. I mean, we did the best we could with it, but now it's a different story altogether.
So what advice would the chair of Governors at Southdown give to others who might be thinking of doing something similar?
Go for it. It's not an easy thing to do. There will be lots and lots and lots of ups and downs, problems that you'll have to resolve. They could meet problems that we never met. We probably met problems they will never meet. It's not easy, but for the children's sake, it is very important.